Hi everyone, welcome to episode 1 of United Arts Chatcast. Today I am going to be speaking to Kayla Lomas. Kayla has so much experience, so much knowledge. She's absolutely incredible, and I'm excited for you guys to hear what she's got to say.
We're in business.
We're on.
We're on.
Okay, Kayla, introduce yourself to us. What's your name and what do you do for a living? Normally.
Normally. In normal life. My name is Kayla and I am a dancer and a dance teacher.
And what was your last job before lockdown?
So my last job before lockdown was actually with Riverdance. It was their 25-year anniversary show and I was hired as a tapper, so I was there as a tap dancer.
What has been your career highlight and why?
My career highlight, that's a really hard question. I can't pinpoint one. I'm going to give a few and for different reasons. So I would say the London Olympics opening ceremony, for the scale of the whole production and the fact that the amount of people that were in it and the amount of people I knew in the job and being able to dance with that many people that I'm friends with and the scale of the whole thing. Then I would say I did a show called Daughter Daughter. It was by a choreographer called Joseph Tunga. And my reason for that being a super highlight was I've done a lot of shows with Zoo Nation, Boy Blue, Bird Gang, where I've played characters and taken on roles, and they've been incredible shows. But this was the first show that I'd ever done where I wasn't playing a character, that I was telling my story. And it was all about the relationship between a father and a daughter, and it was very personal, it was very emotional, it was very honest, and I think that experience, I hadn't realized how important that was. That, you know, it's not always, sometimes it's amazing to be a character and put yourself in someone else's shoes, but in that moment I was on stage for the first time saying, this is in like the total honest Kayla with, you know, nothing to hide behind. And I think that was definitely a pivotal moment for me. And then my third one would be I did a duet actually with my fiance in America, in San Francisco, a couple of years back, and that was the first time that I performed in America. So my family who lives there, my dad and my siblings and my nieces and nephews, were able to see me dance for the first time.
Oh, that's gorgeous. That's really powerful what you were saying as well about being on stage and just being yourself. I think that's something that so many performers struggle with. So I think to be able to find that and put it onto a stage is amazing. What is getting you through the days at the moment? Who or what is giving you some life?
Whoo! So these are hard times right now, but what gets me through the days, and that's going to sound so cheesy, my fiance really does, just in terms of motivation and stability and jokes and being able to just have someone to accompany, I guess, because I think this is a difficult time for so many who can be quite lonely, and just being able to have somebody else there has definitely kept me going.
What would you class as one or two of your biggest achievements in life? I mean, I suppose you've kind of just touched a little bit on them. I don't know if there's anything else that will add to that.
All right, I'm going to bring it more to dance related because life is far too broad for me right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, biggest achievements, I guess, for me, it actually would probably be the breakthrough into being a soloist. So not being Kayla from Zoo Nation, Kayla from Bird Gang, Kayla from Boy Blue, Kayla like known but associated to other people. I think the moment of like just Kayla.
And it takes a long time to get there, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That's only something that you can really say when you're coming to that later point in your career, when you've been through all them doors, you've worked with all them people, and you do become very associated with the companies that help you through. But yeah, I think to get to that point, and then that you've done everything that you can, gone down all the avenues that you can, and then you're coming out as just you again. Comes back to that, just kind of finding yourself almost.
Yeah, finding yourself. And I think it's also, it's a hard one because as much as you might want that, it's not dictated by you. There's only so much you can do. You just keep pushing, you just keep doing what you're doing, and it kind of, you have to just be patient with that. And so it's quite a nice feeling when it does happen, because you know it's not like you can, it's not a goal that you can really work towards and know when that's going to happen, or have like, oh, by 2020, like it's not up to you. You just have to do the work and wait for the rewards.
Wait for it to happen, and it does. If you keep putting in, eventually it comes back. So what charity do you support and why? Or if I was to phrase it in another way and say, here's a £10,000, donate it to any charity you like. What charity would it be and why?
Can I split it between two?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, cool. I would give £5,000 to Mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think mental health is just so important to focus on a daily basis, and especially in these times now, and with you know, suicides becoming increasing, and especially within young people. Definitely support Mind and everything that they stand for. And then my second one, a probably unusual one, is called People in Harmony.
Okay.
And it's a organisation that's basically for mixed race people.
Okay.
It supports families, couples, mixed race people in general, and just trying to support the discussion around being mixed race, about the education of being mixed race, and kind of championing any support bubble around that topic. And I guess for me, that's like very personal, obviously being a mixed race person myself. And there's not really anything about it in education, in the schools, and growing up. You don't learn about this stuff. And I think I was the only mixed race person in my family, in my immediate family. So I didn't really have, I felt like I never really felt like I had a community culturally to understand who I was and where my place was. And I think society can very easily make you feel, as a mixed race person, this is my personal journey, that you have to choose between white and black, and you get educated about how it is to feel and be as a white person, and then you get educated how it feels and to be a black person. But I never really understood, I related to both, but I never really understood what it meant to be both, if that makes sense. So I really support that charity, because I think it's something that's just not talked about enough.
Sometimes you just feel like you just don't know what you can do and how you can make a change, and the one thing that I keep coming back to is the education system. I just think if everybody can start there, at least, I mean, there's hundreds of places in which people can start and do their bit, but if the education system can change, and even as parents we can start implementing these teachings at home, in books, like all these things, that just feels like there's some kind of light, because at the end of the day, eventually it's going to be them that live in this world, not us, so yeah, I think that's amazing. What did you say the charity was called?
People in Harmony.
People in Harmony. I'm gonna have a little look at it. Thanks for that, Kayla. So what's your favourite thing to do outside of performing? Have you got like a hobby or anything like that you love?
Outside of performing and being a dancer, dance teacher and everything dance related, I love kids. I work as a childminder and a nanny, and one of the things that I do as a second job is to work with children. So I think that's one thing that I love to do other than dance. And secondly, a little more of a guilty pleasure, I'm obsessed with jigsaw puzzles.
Are you?
I love them. I love them. But yeah, I'm now worked my way up to like bigger jigsaw puzzles over this lockdown. Has given me so much time.
So good.
More complicated patterns. I love it.
Yes. Yeah. Well, do you know what? It's a form of meditation.
It really is.
It's meditative. It's like all your focus and all your energy is in that one thing, and it just stops your mind from ticking, And just something as simple as that, and
Answers, it's so easy as well. Our minds are everywhere, and as creatives, you're constantly churning. And for me, I find it very hard to be peaceful, or not peaceful is the wrong word, but like be focused
present.
Present and mindful in a moment. So I feel like jigsaw puzzles do, like you said, they force you to do that because you have to concentrate.
We all know that sitting and meditating is good for us, but the truth is, it is hard, and some people just can't resonate with it. So to find, like, there's so many other ways that you can get yourself in that kind of relaxed state. Got to find what works for you, I guess. What was the hardest point in your career, would you say, and how did you overcome the obstacles that were in your way?
The hardest point in my career, it's tricky. I feel like as a performer, it's obviously like this. So there's always going to be highlights and lowlights. I can't say there's ever been one particular low time or struggle that stands out to me, but I would say one of the things I have had to deal with on and off through my whole career and still ongoing is anxiety. And I think a lot of people have exactly the same thing. I know I'm not alone. And as creatives in general, artists across the board, I think it's really rife. And that's, I guess, probably my ongoing battle is just overcoming that anxiety.
Yeah.
I think the way that I do that is, one, talk about it. I think I always felt it was so taboo before, and I'm dealing with something, you've got to keep it quiet and get on and be the performer and put on that happy face.
Yeah.
Forget that. Now I talk about it with anyone at any time, and make sure if I am having those feelings that I'm just like, do you know what? Someone says, "How are you?" I'm like, "Oh, do you know what? Today I'm not all right."
Yeah,
today is not a good day. So yeah, talking about it, and also having the mentality of, when I get in that state, not to let it stop me, because I think before, things would come up, an audition or even a teaching job or something that I was feeling like, oh, I don't know if I can do that, so I'm not going to do it because I'm not sure. And now I make myself do it, because I know when I actually start, I'm always fine. It's the build up for me. So it's that, the going into it. If I've got a performance, it's the build up, the days before or the moments before, and as soon as I step on stage, gone. If I'm teaching, it would be like, oh, prepping, oh, is it going to be all right? Are they going to like the choreography? I'm not sure. Da, 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 da. As soon as I step into the room and I say, hi, everyone, gone. So I just have to force myself to do the things I'm anxious about, and I know it's going to be all right.
Yeah, that's super powerful again, though, because I think so many people can relate to that. So I think to have come to the realization that that is the solution is a really important message to portray to everyone, especially young aspiring artists. I think that's the hardest point, when you have so much to learn, and the overwhelm of knowing where you've got to get to can sometimes actually just stop you in your tracks. I think especially as you start to get into them teen years where you really do start overanalyzing and feeling judged, all them kinds of things can add to that anxiety. So I think that message is amazing, and even when you feel them feelings, keep pushing through. Okay, share with us one of your funniest moments on stage or backstage. I love these questions.
Oh gosh. Funniest moment on stage or backstage. Okay. I'm going to do a most embarrassing moment.
Okay, yeah, fine.
It actually was in Thriller.
Okay.
I don't know if you and Jay, you must have been there if you remember it. We used to do the backing vocals for I'll Be There. Yeah, so we'd go on and we'd be in our full length dresses to the floor with our microphones, doing our little sways, our little turns. Yeah. So just before we were going to do that number, I really needed the loo. So I ran to the toilet, came out, pulled my tights up, ran on stage, no time to think. Did half of the number before I realised, well, I wasn't even realised, the girl next to me was like dying of laughter. and told me by whispering on stage that my dress was tucked into the back of the top of my tights at the back. And this is literally like 2 minutes into the song. I'd done this for about 2 minutes. The dress was tucked into the top of my tights, so my entire bum with a thong and fishnets out to a whole West End audience during a really serious "I'll Be There" slow sort of backing vocal sway.
Oh, I love it. Like all them points, all them funny moments really bring your memories of your performing experience together in a weird way, don't they? You know, when you start getting onto these kind of stories, it brings back so much joy when everyone starts to laugh together, and because it's just like, it's something that's so not meant to happen, but it's human life. There's a bunch of humans on stage. It's not pre-recorded. It does happen.
It does happen. And it's a good reminder of like this whole perfect image that we try and create, or the outside world might think as a performer. It's all glitz and glam, lights and action. It's just nice to remember it is so real as well. And there are these funny moments that make us human. It's not all about being robots and being perfect.
Couldn't agree more. Okay, what is the best bit of advice that you could give to someone maybe wanting to go into this industry, into the performing arts industry?
Okay. I would say a few things. Establish your identity. So just, really do some personal thinking about who you are as an artist, what you want as an artist, and make sure that you're not doing things for other people, but you're doing what you want to do. Mm-hmm. I would say be professional at all times. You never know who you're going to meet. Don't assume that the person that you're dancing next to or in an audition next to this day won't be the person who's employing you the next day. Yeah. So I'd say be nice to everyone and be professional always. Mm-hmm. I would say be open to learning new things, because you might have your heart set on something, but doors will open and you just have to be ready and accepting to just take that, and for your path to do some crazy stuff that you never imagined, because you will learn so many new things that you might not have thought you would if you're open to it. And lastly, enjoy. Don't forget to ever enjoy what you're doing, because it can be stressful at times, it could be daunting at times, but as long as you always remember that you're doing this because you love to do it and coming back to that place, then the possibilities are endless.
Wonderful advice, Kayla. Okay, what tips would you give for keeping in good mental health as an artist? What would be your biggest tips in that area?
I would say we've already kind of touched on it. One, surround yourself with good and positive people. Being artists and in this industry, as you know as well, can be quite fickle sometimes. It can be there's somebody there one day and then you're on a new job and there's someone else, but find those people that ground you and keep you motivated and positive, because that's going to be really paramount to have a good support bubble. And secondly, this is one that I have to tell myself, so I'm just going to share it with everyone else as well, is focus on your achievements as much as you focus on your goals.
Great one, yeah.
Because I think it's so easy to be like, okay, I want to be here. This is what my next goal is. This is my next stepping stone. This is what I'm aiming for, that we're always can be chasing. And if we forget to stop in a moment and be like, I'm still going to go for that, but I just did this and I've done this and I've done this and I've done this, and establish that and really focus on that just as much, if not more, than where you're running to.
Yeah, I think that's great advice. It's so easy to just forget, isn't it? Not even forget, just not acknowledge.
Yeah, and however small it is, because sometimes we see like, oh, your achievements have to be like, oh, I performed on this grand stage. Oh, I performed with this artist. Like sometimes your achievement is literally walking into the door of an audition. Yeah. And you're like, Kayla, well done. You did that today. Yeah. And the more that I do that, the more my mental health is lifted,
Yeah.
It's so simple, and it's so easy, but it's so, and seems so obvious, but we don't do it.
Yeah. I think even like in any situation, actually, not even just an artist situation, just having a few small goals a day, if you can accomplish them, it does lift you instantly. You just feel clearer, rather than that feeling of, oh, I've got 21,000 things, and because I feel so overwhelmed, I'm just going to do nothing. And then you carry that energy into the next day. So if you can just give yourself them few little things that you can go, yeah, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, did them, as big or as small, you will feel better.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Last question, Kayla. Is there, I mean, you've said some amazing things actually, and you've kind of covered all this already, but any last words for something positive that you would like to give and say to the world right now?
I will say, kind of based on what I just said in the last one, but a positive thing to take away right now is remember the little things that you enjoy, because at one, well, how do I phrase it? It's a quote and I'm not going to say it right, but it's focus on the little things, because at one point those little things will be big things.
Yeah.
So it kind of comes back to what I was saying before, is things that might seem really minor. Think about those. Don't take them for granted, because at one point you'll look back and be like, that little thing was a seed for this amazing thing that you're now experiencing. And other than that, Hakuna Matata. Guys.
Hakuna Matata. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for doing that today, Kayla.
Talking to me.
And sorry.
So it's lovely to connect, even though it's this weird Zoom, virtual world that we live in. But
no, thank goodness for it, though, I guess, isn't it?
Yeah.
And yeah, just I think to be able to pick up the phone to anyone or get on a Zoom call with anyone, like every couple of days, I think it, again, just helps. It just helps to have a different conversation with somebody else that's not in your direct bubble. Get out of your daily routine and lift the spirits. Oh, thank you so much. It's been so lovely to talk to you.
You too.
And hopefully we'll catch up really soon again.
I want to be able to see you in person.
Yes.
Oh, thanks, Laura.
Thanks, lovely. Take care.